just start it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yay! Hello. Yeah. Welcome to episode 2.
Howdy. There's about to be a bump.
Bumpity bump.
This is episode 2, yet we've yet to upload episode 1.
Yes.
So, I mean,
eventually we will.
Yeah.
We're gonna do minimalistic editing on that and just put some pictures and stuff. Have you finished editing that picture of the two of us sitting there?
I have not. I've yet to even start on it. So we've done a lot since the last time we've been here.
Yeah, we finished the picture, the thumbnail. You'll have seen it if you've watched the first episode. The Shaggy, but it's Igor. I fucking love that video.
Yeah.
I mean that.
Yeah, that picture. Yeah.
Last time we had Caddyshacks to drink.
Yeah, today
we decided to get something horrible this time.
All right. Well, here was the idea. So, whenever I first brought up this idea, there was one soda that I just had perfectly ingrained in my mind because it was just so correct for the premise of this.
Also, it matches with my last name, right?
Yeah, Diet Right.
Diet Right.
I've wanted to try it for so long. It sounded absolutely like garbage.
Let me read this. Diet, and it's spelled right, R-I-T-E. 0 calories, 0 carbs, 0 caffeine, 0 sodium, pure zero cola. I don't understand what this is gonna be. The nutrition facts, it's just zeros.
Under the authority of Dr. Pepper / 7-Up Inc. So this is on par with Dr. Pepper / 7-Up.
It's got caramel coloring in it, so it will look like...
They will look like cola. Yeah. Do you want to try to open
Dude, it's just going to be flavored water.
Yeah.
At that point.
Pretty much.
With some fizz in it. Alright, let's open this up.
Alright, hold on. Do you want to do it at the same time?
Open it up away, because that's just going to be some ear rape.
Yeah, I know.
Over here.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. See, that was loud. Imagine that right there next to the freaking...
I smell it already.
Look at that, that bump in the audio. Imagine that right here. Alright, I don't want to hear it.
Right, so I'm smelling it, and it smells like...
It smells like Coke.
It smells like a Coke if you kept it in the car for 15 minutes.
Okay, when I first tasted it, it tasted initially like Coke.
But...
And then it tastes like Diet Coke.
It kind of does.
What? What is this? Is the entirety of the flavoring of Coke just the caramel coloring? Why does the caramel coloring have flavor to it?
Well, I mean, there's other things in here. There's carbonate,
phosphoric acid, sucrose.
Potassium.
I'm too southern to pronounce
Acetylfame.
Citric acid, potassium,
preservatives. Yeah, benzoate. I bet that's what
it doesn't taste good.
But it doesn't taste
It
terrible.
doesn't taste as terrible.
I think it tastes like...
It tastes
like a tumor forming in my head.
It tastes like a tumor. But a benign tumor. It's not going to hurt you too much.
Let's cheers under the...
Cheers. There we go. We've already drank, but...
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
Did Mr. Riggs ever tell you that... Well, you didn't have Mr. Riggs, did you?
No, I never had Mr. Riggs. He taught... The only interaction... I've had 2 interactions with Mr. Riggs. He told us... He invited us into an old, Indian-style teepee on a bare rug. We talked about stuff, about the olden days. Then he kicked all the boys out to talk to the women about stuff. And then he came up to me, because I was wearing a hoodie and I was sitting with you and Kobe. And he came up to me, grabbed my, the strings of my hoodie, tied it into a knot.
I remember
and walked away. He said, you just let me do that, alright, and then walked away. What was I gonna do? Just tell him, no, please stop. It's Mr. Riggs.
Yeah,
no,
you let him do that. Let Richard do what he wants. I want to get that tattooed on me.
Alright, no. Continue what you were gonna say about Mr. Riggs.
Alright.
Give some context.
Now I can barely... Okay, so Mr. Riggs was probably the best teacher in Rome's education system for 40 years.
Too bad he's gone.
He's not dead. He's just in retirement.
He's
I think he's still working with kids. I think that he's went to a couple elementary schools.
He has a
But-
whole bunch of old stuff. Like that time he fired a cannon off at the school.
Yes, and that's actually where the phrase comes from. Let Richard do what he wants. Apparently, my friend Kobe was walking past the central office in the middle school one day whenever Mr. Riggs was quote unquote asking to fire off a cannon. We had a new principal, and she was like, "Well, let me call the board, and we'll get to you about it." And she called them up, and by God, they sure did just tell her, "Let Richard do what he wants." It was his last year, so...
It was his last year. They had to let him do what he wanted, otherwise there would be riots.
Yeah, there would be
You know
riots.
how many people would have, like, had, like, riots if he hadn't been able to, like, do the things that he had done?
You probably would have figured out a way to...
Do it anyway.
I want to say, like, fool the kids, but persuade the kids into doing a walkout.
Like... Was he? No, he wasn't. But like, it was like that thing where they had a bunch of kids like put up a sign for people to sign to ban dihydrogen monoxide. Was that? I don't think that was Mr. Riggs, but it was somebody. Dihydrogen monoxide is just water. But they had a bunch of stuff. It was like it's in bombs. It's in all of these weed killers. Oof. And they had like that up for a good month before they start like announce like. It's just water. 200 kids, I think, signed that. It was all along the wall, and 200 kids signed that, wanting to ban water.
I feel like that was
I think a few kids were in on the joke.
Yeah, but
it's middle school though. I don't think it was a majority.
That's a scarcely known fact. I mean, they got politicians, so I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we got middle schoolers. But what was the central point of us talking about Mr. Riggs again?
You brought him up, and then I interrupted you. Like the weenie I am.
Now I can't quite remember. Oh, wait. It was a story that he had told. Okay, it was about diet drinks.
Oh, okay. Alright. That's why it came up. That's why we're drinking Diet Right.
Yeah, so for the longest time, he had quit both... Alright, so he had quit smoking. And then his next big goal was to quit drinking soda. And so he started switching to diet drinks. And...
Man, just burp. Yeah. We're drinking sodas.
Dude,
we're drinking some sody pops.
That was a bad one.
Does that one make your eyes water?
But he started drinking a lot of Diet Cokes whenever they had aspartame in them. I don't know if they still do or not, but basically the point of it got to or he started drinking like so many accumulatively over the like years that he like had one moment where he kind of stroked out in the middle of class. He completely forgot where he was at for a solid hour and had to go home.
They let him drive?
I think that his wife took
okay,
him
that
home.
makes more sense.
Yeah.
But, like, if somebody had wigs out in the middle of like class, forgets where they are, okay. And he says it's because of diet?
Yeah, like diet drinks.
Mr. Riggs is kind of old. Are you sure it was?
I mean,
I'm sure he can blame it on diet drinks. He needs a scapegoat.
I don't know if he was. I wouldn't say that he had Alzheimer's. He seemed pretty cohesive. He remembered a lot of stories, but I would say that man was deaf as shit. Like you'd have to yell at him. I'm not like I saw Coach Tumlin, Mr. Pedophile Man, come into class one day and like I think that I was like one of his more favorite students. So like
Mr. Riggs or pedophile?
Pedophile guy. Yeah, I know. Surprising, right? But
you weren't the best looking kid. I don't see why.
Yeah, I don't see why either. I mean, there was 8th grade me. I was probably about the same weight that I am now. But,
all right, continue. He came into the classroom.
He came into the classroom and he was like trying to get his attention while he like had something up on the board. And after a couple like seconds, he's just started like, "Hey!" Couldn't get his attention. He just walked out, I think.
So he never got his attention.
Yeah, no, it was just one of those random moments that I just.
Mr. Riggs was a man.
He was. But
like, that's the kind of... He had a beard on him, too. That was one heck of a beard.
I remember whenever he shaved it that one time.
I think I remember that. Like, it was just... He had a knobbly chin. It was very, very weird looking. And I can see why he grew out his beard to hide that chin.
He's not a looker, but... My God.
He reminds me a lot of how my grandfather looks. On my dad's side. I told you a lot about my grandfather. He's got a pot belly on him. He's got Mr. Riggs didn't have this, but he has the same type of beard as Mr. Riggs.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
This is a very poor idea. Sorry.
Man, aren't diet drinks like highly caffeinated, like higher caffeinated than others? Man.
Probably. It's just burp ASMR. Probably upload this on Pornhub.
I don't know about you, man. My belly don't feel too good from this.
Yeah. We've already gotten through how much have you gotten through?
I got half of it.
I've gotten through a lot more than you have.
No wonder. That was a very nice burp. Where was I? What kind of stuff is in this drink, man? We're forgetting all over the place.
That's alright.
They have the essence of diet in it.
You know that if they're spelling right wrong, then you know there's something good
There's
about
something
it.
good about it. I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh, my grandfather. He has the same type of beard. Like, coffee stains all around the mouth. Like, pepper, like salt and pepper looking. Balding. Got some, and then wears a hat. Was Mr. Riggs a veteran?
Yes.
Vietnam?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why, so was my grandfather. And he's all wearing his Vietnam vet hat, and he talked a lot like Mr. Riggs. So I always liked Mr. Riggs. Never got to meet the man, never had his classes. It was because I was in the
smart kids
the
class.
Smart class.
I don't know
classes.
why that man taught like a regular class.
Because he had such a good teaching style, so it could.
Yeah, it works.
It works for everybody. So they were like, all right, the smarter kids pick up on stuff faster. Let's put the best teacher in the worst class.
Yeah, like I think that learning should be completely about your experience with a teacher. Like, so I feel like that's why.
But the worst kind of people become teachers because like I feel like so many more people that are teachers should not be teachers. My elementary school teacher from pre-K, her name was Miss Bennett. Miss Bennett was the best teacher I feel like I've had because she was just a fun person to be around. Like she enjoyed being around kids. She didn't hate kids like a lot of the teachers nowadays. Coach Han. She was fun. She would interact with everybody. She knew everybody's names. I was in classes like in middle school where some of the teachers didn't know my name, and that just feels bad. Like being out of there. And I remember one time she kind of like everybody was being loud and stuff, so she kind of like rose her voice, and it scarred me because I'd never seen her like that. And I was like, exactly. What? She can yell? I was baffled, dumbfounded, and that left a sour taste in my mouth for Miss Bennett for a while because I was 4.
Yeah.
But looking back now,
no, I think
she didn't deserve.
Second grade or first grade?
It was pre-K.
Pre-K?
Pre-K.
Okay, so yeah, you were 4.
Yeah, I was 4. And I feel bad for feeling that sour taste because she was the best teacher. But that one bad moment I had with her just stuck with me. And I feel like so many teachers nowadays only have the bad moments.
Yeah.
Like Coach Han. A lot of people about him are either love him or hate him. I can't say that because I'm indifferent to Coach Han. I had good experiences with him, but I never really liked him as a person. People I know so many people that hated him because he doesn't care about the kids he teaches. He cares about he cares about just I hate you.
The more that I said the thing and it's just more and more coming true. It's fucking burp ASMR. That's our hook.
We're going to the wrong side of the internet, man. We don't want to. We got to bring it to the back to the regular side.
It's like the.
You know, I'm not gonna go into detail about Coach Hammond because like. I don't want to talk. I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to talk shit about him though because like I respect that he went and is doing stuff, and I think the main reason he's teaching is just so he can have more of a reason to go into an English degree. Because man, that man loves it. That boy loves literature.
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Freaking leprechaun.
That. I thought that he was doing or he's working for the board next year.
I don't know about that. I don't care to know because I'm out of high school now.
It won't matter anymore.
I mean, I'll probably figure it out next year. My older brother will tell me. But
it's weird not having anybody in high school anymore. I mean, I have Jasmine, but you know, like she's taking like more college classes.
Yeah, she's more in college than she is in
she's
high school.
She's beating me in college right now.
The CCA I feel like was the best thing about high school for me.
I regret so hard not doing it.
You should have done it.
I should.
Like, even if you did horticulture, because Kobe did horticulture for a little bit.
Dude,
he loved doing that. As far as I know, he would just get to fuck around in class. I don't think you would have done horticulture. You probably would have done animation digital media.
Yeah, I probably would have.
You would have been in Welcome to the Closet, the first podcast I made,
and gotten to play D&D for school.
For school grades, I made 100s in that class for playing D&D, making a podcast, and then sending that I won competitions. Yeah, I remember. I won competitions.
Imagine if you had my laboriously intensive editing skills to go inside.
I didn't edit worth crap. I soundproofed that room. Like, me and Gabe built that room. And then we recorded in. And it was a
been able to save you guys money, too.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have bought an on-camera mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess I'll go into more detail about the Welcome to the Closet, I guess. Since we're on that topic.
Might as well.
So Welcome to the Closet was a podcast that me and my friend Gabe started. He is my co-host, but technically he's just a dude.
Yeah.
He edited occasionally, and he helped me out with sound stuff. Like, he helped figure out music and stuff because I didn't know where to find that. He went on YouTube, this free sound library. Oh, bumps. You bumping?
Yeah, this is starting to scare me. My bad.
But he went on the YouTube audio library or something, just downloaded some music, and I'm like, all right. I used that for the rest of the time. And that was basically, it wasn't all he did, but it was the majority of what he did. But we talked to our teacher. We were in the CCA, which was like a college prep readiness school. Academy. Yeah, it was an academy that we went to for the first half of the school day. And then we were in a class called Animation Digital Media, which was about audio, video work, camera work. I learned a lot in that class about the first entire year of class. I was in their junior and senior year. Was about learning how to actually do stuff, how to work a camera, how to edit and stuff. I wouldn't know how to use a camera. I can barely use that camera. I know how to use one camera though, so I'm gonna get that camera and that camera only. And then we talked to her, and because we had your senior year, you get to work on whatever you want, and you get graded for that on a project. So we were like, we both want to do some creative stuff for our lines of work. I want to go into creating video games and doing the YouTube stuff. Gabe wants to start streaming YouTube stuff. He also wants to go into gaming and making video games. So we decided to create something. We created a podcast. We didn't know what we were doing exactly, but our teacher was fully into that. Brings us back to the topic of great teachers. Yeah. Miss Lynn was a great ass teacher. She encouraged us to do stuff. So she cleared out a closet for us. That's where the name Welcome to the Closet comes from.
I mean, it's a beautiful name.
And we had one of our players, Joey. He created artwork for it. That was our thing for it. We'll have it on the screen hopefully if Nick edits. Maybe. If not.
Wait, did he create the?
Joey made the picture where it was yellow background with a door.
Yeah, with
opening,
a door and
Welcome to the Closet on the door.
That beautiful picture of Is it you that's standing like this, or is it Gabe?
It's Gabe standing like an A pose.
Yeah.
That was me. I made that.
Okay.
The original. Well, I guess we'll have a picture of that on the screen if Nick can edit right, or if not, if shit out of luck. I don't know.
It's hard to see. I've been wanting to edit that first video, but besides my own video being it's poking out the door. You know, I'm about to have to go squat on the toilet with it. And, you know.
I hate you. Yeah, I'd say finish your video first, and then work on like the podcast.
I feel like this is easier though.
I feel like it would be. I think all you have to create is just that one picture left, and then just slap it on. Occasionally flash a picture on screen.
Exactly, that's what I'm thinking.
And then we can. I don't think we're gonna edit the audio much, like other than videos. Like some pauses and occasionally that we'll cut out. Because we both talked about this earlier, but we wanted to create it more like a raw, like something that's not overly edited. Other than a video, I guess.
I don't feel like there's too many overly edited podcasts anyways.
I've seen some. They're like really like by the book, and like you have to like they have scripts and stuff. I've seen some scripted podcasts that are podcasts. They're like very like edited and stuff, and I've seen some non-scripted ones that.
I mean,
it sounds like the edited ones that I've seen that are actually not scripted sound like they had like 5 hours of audio. But 3 hours of it was dead air, and the times in between where they actually had a conversation were spliced together. A lot of it doesn't sound like it cohesively like merges into any of them.
I feel
not that anything we've talked about has been cohesive.
I feel like we've done a better job as of this one to kind of stay on track. We've created a list. But,
well, I mean, we totally just dropped the topic of the podcast.
Yeah,
but
I guess you have a point.
I guess I'll finish in a second.
Yeah, but
I wasn't that.
There's a lot of stories of other people that I know.
You have more stories of other people than you have of yourself. That's about my stuff.
Because I sit in here and
do nothing.
Do nothing.
Wank off on your bed. At least you have
I have FL Studio pirated.
I remember when you tried on my old laptop. You downloaded like uTorrent or something. Tried to pirate FL Studio on that just so I could be able to make a beat. We got halfway through that process. You had already downloaded all the stuff, the illegal stuff, and I was like, maybe we should stop, man. Still to that day, that computer has uTorrent on it because I was like, I can't delete it.
Delete it.
What if they find it?
Wouldn't you be in more trouble if you did delete it and they didn't find it?
Would I be in more trouble? No, if I deleted that, I would get in even less trouble if somebody found it. Well, because they wouldn't find it.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, never mind. Anyway, back on the topic of the welcome to the closet.
Welcome to the closet.
Yeah, we created that, and we had a couple of episodes that we all just recorded in that closet. I had my own mic. There was one singular mic. It was directional mic, and I didn't realize that, so I thought it was 360. Like it, caught it from all around, and then but it was directional. So I would have it facing certain people in different episodes. So some people would be really loud. Some people would be really soft. I mean, it's a learning process. That was all it really was. I wasn't looking to get famous. It was just a learning process that we used for competitions because we were planning on this because our teacher said, hey, there's this audio editing competition that you could post it or send it to. And we did.
Wait, was that the one that you won?
Yeah, so we won our original one. I wasn't able to go to it, and we got medals and stuff. I haven't gotten my medal yet because
for audio editing.
Yeah, okay. It was a podcast. Do you know how many people entered that for the audio editing portion of the competitions we went to?
No idea.
3 people for the one I went to. I don't know about the first one. I think it was about 5 people. We still won, but and it was we just sent the first one we got our first episode, which was about an hour. Edited the good bits into about 20 minutes. Yeah. And just sent that. They gave us the thought of maybe making a trailer. So that's what we made for the second competition. We made a trailer for it, got some good bits, introduced it, basically said what it is. And if you want to find it, it's on Spotify. Welcome to the Closet. It's the trailer for that. That's what we sent in. And there was 2 other people in that competition other than us for the second one. And the first one, I know he made a trap beat. And the second one, he made a some ambient noise soundtrack. I don't know how to explain it exactly.
Like a sample pack?
Something like that, yeah.
Like, just...
He got random noises, like
Like
Foley.
Yeah,
like he would smack a certain thing to make it sound like a crash or something like that. And he put that all into one thing and just... That was his project. We won in a landslide. And then,
I mean,
since we won that one, we were going to go to state.
Was the trap beat any good?
No. I listened to it. It was trash.
Oh,
it sounded like it was trying to be a mix of, like, some really chill lo-fi with a hip-hop, like, rhythm to it.
Okay, so, like, I get what you're saying.
It was way too fast of a, like, tempo for the stuff that was in it, if that makes sense. Like, it was outpacing its own, like, beat. Or something like that. No, okay. You catch my drift.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You catch my drift. It was trash.
Why didn't I take that fucking class?
You didn't, because at that point I don't think you were really interested.
I wasn't interested.
Audio at all.
Dude, I just want to...
They shouldn't... I feel like they should have, like, if you want to go in your senior year. I don't think you should have to go in both years. Well,
I mean,
for certain classes.
But...
Healthcare, they have healthcare there. I get why you're not allowed to go in your senior year for that. And welding, I get why for that. But horticulture?
Horticulture, you don't learn that advanced of a way to
mow.
You don't learn how to fucking do anything.
Like, you don't. I know for that they planted some stuff. Yeah. They made like anchors for a boat for their teacher. Because their teacher was like, I have a couple of friends that they need some anchors for their boats. We're gonna make anchors today. So they got 10-gallon buckets, stuck a piece of like 2 pieces of wood 2x4s in there, filled it with cement, and then made sure there was a connecting piece between the 2x4s.
Yeah, I mean,
and they made anchors.
I guess that works.
And the teacher gave them to his friends. I don't know. But
perks of being a
teacher that gets to do whatever they want to be.
College career teacher. How do you get a degree in which you can teach horticulture? You get a horticulture.
I know they have degrees for horticulture in like colleges and stuff. I know that. I don't think it's prevalent and I don't think it's big, but there's things.
Yeah.
Either that or you got to be a farmer for 4 years and then you get a teaching degree.
Well, reckon I was about ready to sell my farm so I could start on my pursuit as an educator. Honestly, I feel like that's a very unoriginal thought for this area.
Yeah, like I don't think that... I know a couple of the teachers like at the high school, or at least the high school and the middle school, like own farms. Or have like family that have farms.
My second grade teacher worked as an educator for like 4 or 5 years and then went to a farm. She works at the strawberry farm.
Send her out to the ranch.
Maybe that's what happened.
I don't know. But, alright, I'm about to finish the welcome to the closet bit. Yeah. We were about to go to our state. And for state, they were going to put us up in some good stuff. Because I was going for 2 different competitions. One for Skills USA, which was a weird... It was for college readiness, but also world readiness. So you'd know how to do stuff for the world. For leadership skills. Wow. I thought it would look good on a college application, so I joined and did a few things for them. I was going for that, and I was going for the tech competition, which was the audio engineering and stuff, and audio, where I sent in the podcast. Skills USA was putting us up in a lavish hotel. I looked it up. For a 1-night stay, for like one person, about $2,000.
Oh.
For some reason, they decided to put kids in there. I get like it's $2,000 per room, and it has definitely had a discount. But like, there was over like 200, 400, hundreds I don't know how many exactly, but there were hundreds of kids on this like competition.
That last drink of that diet right was not okay.
I don't know. They were setting us up there, and I was doing exactly the same thing. I decided to send in my the podcast.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna drive an hour away to go do the tech fair competition. Send in the same thing, and then Corona happened, and all that got canceled. And I was the podcast was pretty much guaranteed to have won the tech competition, and I would have gotten a big lump of like scholarship from that. I don't know the exact number, but it was like $3,000 scholarship if you won. That's a big chunk of money.
That's a year at Highlands.
That's a year at Highlands, yeah.
Yeah.
And freaking Corona.
Well, if it makes you feel any better, Asher, a good buddy of mine.
A good buddy of mine. He was in my.
Yeah,
he was in my short film that I did the first year, D&D. Oh Jesus, I hated D&D. I love D&D. Don't. I guess that's on YouTube. I know where to find it. I guess we'll link it in the description.
Yeah.
If you want to watch that.
I don't think I've watched that yet.
Oh, you shouldn't. It's
it
so
sounds
bad.
Like it's
There's a
bad.
Megalovania joke in it. Helms does the Fortnite default dance as Megalovania plays in the background, and he destroys Asher in a cloud of like smoke. I don't know how he thought of it. It is entirely a fever dream, and a lot of the audio doesn't work because at one point Asher wasn't mic'd, but Chris was. So we were relying on Asher being loud. And I don't know if you've ever met Asher, but Asher's not loud.
I think that the loudest that I've ever heard him is gently raise his voice.
This man, he yelled once for the short film, and we didn't even keep it, so you can't hear it. He yelled like, "Chris, no!"
Chris, no! I can already imagine it.
It was so slow too, because he has this weird drawl to. Chris, no. I don't exactly remember. We didn't keep it in the like short film. I just bumped the mic.
Yeah, that's alright. I don't think many people are gonna be too upset by it. I hope that you're watching this to go to sleep, because we'll just keep on.
Alright,
yeah.
how long have we been recording? About an hour? I don't know.
Fuck. You think so?
I don't know.
Or
we haven't even talked about anything we had on our list.
Yeah, well, we've just kind of been bullshitting for the past hour.
Bullshitting is the best kind of shitting, though. Like,
yeah,
you ever just sat down to take a shit? That shit sucks.
Like a Sudoku shit? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, whenever you
took a drink.
Pulling out your phone, you're like getting ready to play like a game. Like, it's all out from here.
You just gotta sit there and wait for it to come out.
Coming out on the other side as a man.
I guess we could start on our list that we made for this episode.
Yeah, let me go through this way real quick.
You got a trash can across the room though.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
But why'd you say I gotta go and you can still talk?
Well, you know, it's different.
It's different? Man, you want another diet, right?
Dude,
you gotta have another diet, right?
Is this just how it's gonna work from now on?
Yeah, I haven't. I still got half of mine left.
6-pack of Monster and just go at it. Drink 3 of those a piece. And
episode 3, man.
Episode 3, 3
monsters. 6-pack, episode 3, 3 monsters.
We drink 1 piece tea. We're drinking 2 Diet Rights. 3 monsters.
What happens on episode 53? We're gonna have 53 like 5-hour energies or something.
53 shots of water.
42 shots of vodka.
If there's 53 episodes, 53 shots.
Alright, I'll write it down. Alright, hold on.
And I'm sorry if you guys keep on hearing my leather
creaky chairs.
Yeah. I don't know why.
This is not high production at all.
No.
We have one mic stand. We're sitting here between it. The fan is still on.
Once again, I mentioned this in the last episode, but Ableton fucking Live is what we're using to record audio.
Man, what episode did we say we drink water?
53?
53? I hope it was. Drink water. There we go.
Hey, that's the name of
That's a sick trap beat. Young Scrolls.
Yeah.
Drink water is the best beat he's made.
Drink water.
Drink water, bitch.
I love that, man. Alright, so my brother, like, pointed out something to me that was obvious and that I had clearly thought about it, like, a little bit and into some detail, but, like, not to the extent that he was putting it. Back in, like, the 2000s, I don't know if you, like, watched a documentary on, or, like, just knew this offhand. You okay?
Ah! I chugged it!
Yeah.
Oh! It's killing me! It's coming out from the inside! That is not okay! What is in this? Ah!
Saw you have a heart attack.
Okay, continue.
But he was talking about, like, just, like, in the early 2000s, that it would take hours upon hours to, like, mend together, like, voice clips into a cohesive sentence. So, it's, like, to think about, like, what he's doing.
Oh, we're talking about Young Scrolls. He takes...
I don't know.
Bumping the camera again. I mean,
Yeah.
Frick.
Excuse me, I wanted to put up the pop filter that's not being used right now.
He takes audio clips from the Elder Scrolls series, makes sick trap beats, and then uses the audio clips from the characters, like voice lines and stuff, to rap to it. And he did an entire album for Shea Gorath. It has some features in there from like the Gourmet Walks Runs in Circles isn't a different album, but and Drink Water is one of his songs, and it's absolutely.
Is The Admirer or
The Admirer has a different song, but he's not in. Zoomin' is the name of the album. It's a shame he's not on freaking Spotify.
I remember one of the top comments for the first video that you showed me of him. I can't remember which one it was.
It was probably Shea Gorath. Because I freaking love that album.
But, one of the top comments where it was, Shea Gorath was, or there's a...
Shea Gorath?
Shea Gorath?
Shea Gorath.
Shea Gorath.
Shea Gorath.
Shea Gorath. I'm sorry. I know my Elder Scrolls lore, but I can't say the names for anything. But anyways...
Runs in Circles.
Runs in Circles.
Close enough.
Okay.
Alright, you were saying... Got the sweats, man.
I'm sorry.
Got the sweats.
But, I think, it was, like, alluded to in, like, some Elder Scrolls lore that he was the creator of music.
Yeah. So it wouldn't be, he was the creator of, like, some type of music, I know that, but, and it was, like, the top comment on one of them was, this sounds like something Shea Gorath would do.
It does. That's exactly...
It's so well done in some parts that it doesn't sound like it's been spliced together.
Not at all, and it's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Check it out. I guess we'll link that in the description if we remember. But if not...
I think that, like, how this episode has progressed, we've kept on topic enough to where I can... What?
Continue. I was confused.
Okay. We've stayed on topic enough to where I feel like there's just general pictures, like, where I can, like... Just kind of like put a still picture for this part, and then when it changes topics,
Yeah, like when it generally changes topics. Anyway, I guess we could start on the topics that we wrote, and then not really speed through those because I guess we got another hour.
Yeah.
Or so, because I think that number at the top near the play pause button is like once it hits 1,000, that's about an hour. I would say.
Yeah, it's a little bit less than.
Man, I just wish it said numbers. Like, how long is this?
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like,
why doesn't it say you've been recording for this many minutes? It gives us little boxes. It's being recorded for this many boxes.
It's giving us bar lines.
Yeah, bar lines. Anyway, so we can start with that.
Okay.
Why our channels and future videos and stuff. So, why did you make your channel?
Well, my channel was made firstly and foremost because of I wanted to do it for some time because, why not? but also
you can start something. It's not really until you get to a certain point. It's not a commitment.
Not a commitment, or it's just a hobby. And,
Yeah.
you know, I already edit stuff. As like, I take pride in editing things, and I do enough music stuff to where I could loosely assemble some content from it. Plus, it would allow me to expand
his knowledge.
Yeah, expand my knowledge. But it started because I wanted to do a project for my fine arts pathway.
Which you never actually got to see.
Actually, I got it the day after.
You actually got your seal?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool. That's very nice.
Yeah, no.
We were freaking out over the fact that you weren't getting it, even though you did all the work for it.
Yeah, I just didn't turn in that thing. And I was pretty certain that I wasn't going to get it because it was like, I didn't get a response back from anybody after I'd sent it in. And then Mr. Scoggins asked me, like, he asked if I only got the band seal. And I was like, yeah, I think so, because I haven't gotten anything back on it. And he was like, alright. So I was like, yeah, probably not on that. So I was definitely surprised.
I mean, pleasantly surprised, I guess. Alright, continue.
But, yeah, I think that the entire idea for why it's pretty painful.
Why am I drinking this?
Yeah.
I'm not even halfway through.
With your first one?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm already...
I have like a quarter of it left, I guess.
I'm pretty decent on my second can. I don't know if I want too much more of that. I have my fill of it.
I keep interrupting you. I feel bad.
It's alright. But, yeah, I think that the main idea for me is that... I don't know. I just feel like so many YouTubers are disingenuous with how they, like...
Create content.
And how, like, they... I wouldn't say that clout chasing is the correct term because, you know, they're putting work into it.
Yeah, so they're not... It's not low... A lot of them nowadays are, like, high effort, but, like, feels like it's coming from the wrong place.
Yeah, and really, I want to learn more things myself, but I also want to, like, let that be available to other people.
Yeah. You want to be able to show other people. You don't want to be able to be the first, like the only person that can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like you'd love to see other people doing the same thing. Well, maybe not the same thing.
But you know,
you've laid your claim. Anybody does what you do, you sue them. Simple as that.
Simple as I'm Disney. but yeah, that's pretty much it. And just, you know. Also, edutainment is a big thing on what I want to do.
Just make sure that you sprinkle in enough fucks. Not really, but just preface that you're not a kids channel. Otherwise, they'll be like, "Oh, kids want to make sick trap beats nowadays."
I mean, they really do. I've been on Discord with very, very young kids. I felt bad for the content that they create, except for one. There was one guy that created an entire it was Little Peep-esque, but like he had like lyrics to it, and he was still like very pubescent. You could hear the voice cracks, but by God, he tried.
I mean, you can respect it. Like kids are cool. Like some of the time.
Some of them, yeah. It's like people, you know.
Yeah,
some people are cool. Some people are dicks.
But kids are just different. Like they're very, very smart, and if you give them the resources, they'll create some shit.
Yeah.
That's how I felt as a kid. However, I was a dumb kid. I was given like resources and stuff to do stuff, but the stuff I wanted to do wasn't the stuff that was given to me. Like I was given like drawing utensils and stuff, and I wanted to draw for a while. I drew. I never really traced, but I never created anything of my own. I have a certain like ability to look at something. Like that's not ability, but like. Plenty of people can probably do this, but like I can look at something, and if it's simple enough, like I can draw it pretty close.
Like you're a good man, Charlie Brown.
So if I got the outline of Charlie Brown, I could draw Charlie Brown. If I looked at it, and I could draw Charlie Brown, like pretty much spot on. I can't draw anything by memory. I can't draw anything like realistic. I can't draw anything like that I think is cool. Oh God. That picture of SpongeBob and Patrick, but it's just fuck shit. I guess he'll put a picture of that on. Yeah. This is something Nick drew, I guess.
Yeah, it's It was something that I created in my favorite high school teacher's class.
Which one is that?
Miss Wyndham.
No, yeah, she's a wonderful teacher.
Yeah.
She's another one of the good ones.
There's a lot going on with that.
The showering down in Patrick's belly button.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
His fucking shorts say Boggle under them and Lenore.
Boggle. But I can't draw. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't really get any better, so I just kind of gave up. I bet if I started trying more now, I could get pretty good. I just don't want to.
Thing, though,
if you
kids
try
are
enough
given
at anything,
creative hobbies because their parents want to give them something that hey, you might be good at this. You should definitely check it out.
I feel like when you're a kid, it's the big of course people. I'm not the first one to think this, but it's a time where you try to figure out what you want to do and what you're interested in. And at one point, I was interested in soccer, and then I realized I'm not athletic, so I stopped being interested in soccer. At one point I was interested in drawing. Then I realized I wasn't good at drawing. I guess I was that stereotypical kid that got into stuff, and then when I got disillusioned and felt bad about myself that I wasn't good, I just stopped. Yeah. I felt like I was a really boring kid. I had a couple of friends, but I had no...
Every time.
You gotta let your cat in. But every time I tried at something, I always felt bad for myself, and I always had just a few friends, but I never had any close friends. Because as a kid, I would like to say I had a great upbringing, because I did. I had a really great upbringing, but I didn't go any. I didn't.
You were kind of isolated.
I was very isolated because I lived in the middle of bumfuck nowhere.
Yeah. Half of Rome for you.
This isn't anything of my parents' fault. I never asked to have friends over because I never had any friends, but and I never went over there. The first time I spent the night at a different person's house was your house, 8th grade. And that was such a magical night. I was like, whoa, we get to stay up past 11. We get I know my bedtime at that point was still 10:30.
Yeah, mine was about the same, but only for the weekdays.
I remember I was so ecstatic when my bedtime got raised from 9 to 10:30 in 8th grade. 8th grade started. I was like, Mom, I'm not tired. Let me stay up. And she was like, all right, I guess I can't do anything. No, she fought me tooth and nail for that. And eventually she got tired of me complaining.
You were like, I'm a grown-ass man.
I'm a grown-ass man.
I remember being back in 8th grade and just thinking, I remember one of the biggest conflicts for me my 7th grade summer was, things are never going to be the same. And, well, no, that might have been that was my 8th grade summer. It was whenever I was first getting into high school, because, that was, as a kid, I never, imagined or fathomed college, because I just didn't understand.
It was too far away, and you didn't really understand what it was about. You knew that you went there, and you learned stuff. But what kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Taxes? Nah.
No, that's not what I'm about. I like learning about science. So, high school, seeing Nathan do all the weird, wacky shit that he did made me so, I want to do that. And I never ended up being, in honors like he was, so I got to do cool stuff. I'm not going to say that I didn't, but,
You were not the smartest boy.
Yeah, I was not the smartest.
I was also not the smartest boy, but I did good occasionally. I don't know why I got in the honors program. For some reason, okay, I'm not trying to fucking big head about this shit. I have no reason why I was put in there. I think it was because, for some reason, I liked reading as a kid. And when you like reading as a kid, people inflate your ego about that. They're oh shit, he's reading? I was in the Million Words Club in 5th grade. I read 1,000,000 words. And that, they were he's going to be a smart kid. So they put me in a system called Kaleidoscope, which was basically, I went there occasionally on Wednesdays, and we built birdhouses. Wow. We did weird fuck shit. I don't know. And I think because I was in that special class as the only boy, I was the only boy. Everybody else was a girl. And at the same time, I was not the ladies' man either, so I felt very awkward.
Yeah.
So like, and they put me in there, and I think that's the only reason I'm in honors. I hated myself because I was not good. I had like B's, occasional A's, but mostly B's for the entirety of middle school.
Yeah.
Cat. And then Cat. Here, let me hold you. And then through high school, I was always struggling to keep a 3.0. Yeah. I remember I had an F in a class, and then COVID dropped. I had like a 60, and then I busted my tail on online classes, giving myself like extra credit and stuff, and I pulled out with my final transcript being a 70. And I remember just having such a clenched butthole opening that letter for my report card.
I understand absolutely. That was kind of the opposite.
We got off topic again.
What was our topic?
We didn't talk about my channel.
Yeah,
continue what you were saying, then I'll talk about my channel.
All right.
Yes.
All I was gonna say is that I was completely undetermined and actually there was something that I was gonna say before this, because this is probably more important and a little bit more interesting. All right, so I feel like what a lot of elementary schoolers are based off of to get into those special classes is the way that they act. Like, you were,
I was a loner with anger issues.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, they're taking a more psychological approach to it. They're thinking, who needs to feel better about themselves than this?
I really doubt that. Okay, in the Kaleidoscope group, there was me. At that point, I think I had gotten over my really bad anger issues, which is a story I'll tell in the next episode, I guess, because we're too off topic.
Yeah.
About how like I slowly got over my anger issues, which I was an angry child. So like it's.
Oh my God, we're almost an hour and a half in.
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We can speed through, or we can have topics for next time.
Yeah, we'll just keep on working on that list.
Yeah. But anyway, there was me, and then some other smart kids, or quote unquote smart kids, like reader kids. Me, it was like Aaron Vascovi, Kara Middleton, and then the best way to explain it, prissy kids, like girls, like the popular girls.
Yeah.
It's just the easiest way to say it. I don't want to sound that way, but it's just the easiest way to say it. I mean, they were nice enough, but it's the same. At the same time, you're a kid, 5th grade, like 4th, 5th grade. You don't like boys as a girl, not necessarily. And I was the farthest thing away from a guy that anybody would like.
Yeah, that anybody had any remote attraction to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's alright. It's 5th grade. None of that shit matters.
I mean, yeah, but it sure didn't make me feel good. What are you doing?
Oh no, I just had kind of like a revelation. I'll talk about it off camera. This is one of those weird things.
Oh, I'm almost finished with my diet right, man. Hold on. It's so nasty. Oh, I get what you're talking about. The last bit is horrible.
Yeah,
I guess I gotta open my second one and talk about my channel now. Yeah, we haven't talked about our individual channels so much, but I guess it doesn't really matter. This is probably going to be more popular by the time that I get my first episode out. We're gonna have 4 of the podcast out. Because I just can't work on it. I decided to make mine in a fit of depression. I decided that I wanted to do something because I was just currently doing nothing. I wasn't creating anything that I wanted to create. And then I started watching different anime. And I watched a bunch of different YouTubers, and they were reviewing it, and they were doing something they liked. They liked looking at it and analyzing it. And I slowly began to start doing that myself and analyzing, what is this scene like? What could it mean? What could it show for characters, character development wise? And I slowly began to enjoy watching shows like anime so much more. than I did just passively watching it, because I started understanding more character motivations. I started understanding more, like, this character, why did they do that action? For good anime. I'm not talking about, like, Sword Art Online. Yeah.
Subliminally?
Yeah, close enough.
Yeah.
But, and then I watched a certain show that absolutely rocked my world, because it was so good at telling the story that it wanted to, at the same time doing all kinds of, like, meta-narratives and, like, meta-narrative. Beastars. I talked to you about this a while ago, and I went into that show apprehensively, but I was starved for content of stuff to watch, and Luke came, furry ass motherfucker, he came up to me and said, "You should watch Beastars. It's good." And I quote said, "Just look past the furry shit and you'll be okay." So I watched it. I watched the first episode and I was hooked, because most shows take a couple of episodes or so to establish their theme, their narrative. What is this show going to be about? And what do their characters do? Beastars takes 8 minutes.
Yeah.
From the beginning of it, I'll go into more details about this in the episode, but it takes 8 minutes to because this is me overanalyzing it again, but about 8 minutes to establish, like, what is this show going to be about?
Yeah.
You dang cat! I'm gonna kick you out. I'm gonna kick your cat.
Don't.
I'm kicking your cat.
Well, I've already thrown him a couple times.
Kicking your cat. Kicked it out. That is.
Okay.
Ugh. Freaking me out. What was I talking about? You can still hear it in the other room.
He doesn't leave.
He's always there. But yeah, I just really enjoyed analyzing stuff, and Beastars was just the final thing. I was like, I can't not talk to people about this, but none of my friends are okay with furry shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'll accept it for what it is, but, I'm not going to say that I condone it fully.
I was okay with it. I really like it, and I would recommend it for every single person on the planet Earth. But I know that every single person on the planet Earth that's not okay with furry shit will never touch it.
Would you recommend it to Kim Jong-un?
Kim Jong-un is probably a furry himself, so yeah.
I feel like he could be. I feel like that's a very good possibility. I mean,
what do you think Kim Jong-un's persona is?
I hope he's a red panda. It makes so much sense. Red for communism, panda, because he probably eats like shit, and he probably can't move too well.
I don't know. But yeah, that's the main reason I created it, and that's the main reason I wanted to make content, because I just got depressed and was like, yeah, I need to do shit.
Yeah, and it's not a bad thing to do. I mean, I just like the idea of, being able to express my whatever the fuck it is onto a platform.
Just your personality and thoughts, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, your first video, it was very nice.
Yeah.
It was quiet. You needed to work on that, and you learned a lesson from that. You need to make sure the audio is normalized for everything.
Indeed.
But, like, I got a lot of your type of humor out of that video, and it was very nice.
I really hope that the second one lives up to it. It's weird working with a camera now. It feels...
It'll be weird, and but I feel like it'll add a bit to it.
Yeah, because...
Definitely, because the first video was a lot of still images and stuff, and it was just your voice, which we couldn't hear much of.
Yeah.
So I feel like better audio and something to look at will help it a lot. Definitely. Something like Michael Reeves, but with audio and beats.
Yeah. But...
the Michael Reeves of beats. Instead of tasing people, he waterboards them. I don't know.
Yeah, I get you. It's what beat makers do. They waterboard.
I don't know. We got some time left. We can quickly talk about the story of Lil Wyatt before we end it.
Alright.
Alright.
Well, he's a rapper based out of course, Flint, Michigan. I've come to know the guy pretty well. We've done a couple photo shoots. Haven't made any beats, but he declares himself a rapper.
No. You made the beat, and Lil Wyatt approved of the beat. That's what it was.
Okay, yeah, no. Well, no, I guess he just never approved of anything. He must have found something better because, he hasn't put out anything fucking
No,
ever.
No, it's not any of his fault. It's just creative blockage before he created anything. I guess he couldn't create lyrics. And whenever they tried to create lyrics, like him and you, they always decided to do other fuck shit.
Yeah, like set shoes on fire.
Set shoes on fire.
There's a lot of interesting things that happened out of sheer boredom. Whenever we could have, been productive.
Yeah.
Imagine if we kept on with Little White. Like, where would we be right now?
I mean, I guess you two would probably... I'm done with the bit. I don't know. But I guess we would have actually just did a song. But at that point, it would have been... I feel... If we actually did it back during when we were really into it, I feel like it would have been way worse.
Oh, yeah.
Than
10th
anything.
grade.
10th grade.
I barely knew anything about what I was doing.
You made a beat... But then put like something that would like a lyricist type thing. I don't know. You put some audio in there that was like taking the forefront that you wouldn't be able to rap with, and then ended it right after that ended.
Yeah.
So like, we're gonna rap to this.
Seconds.
Gonna make a 14-second rap.
I mean, what's the guy that made the history of everything? I guess. He has a lot of 7-second clips of him singing.
But he has his own style. We're doing rap. We were, at least. Dude, we have a beat. We have Bad Boys Boofin', and then we have lyrics written down. The thing is, do we want to make that leap of... Do we want to put ourselves in that type of light? That we created that. Do we want to
be okay with it?
I think I would be okay with it too, but
is it stupid?
Is it? Oh boy, yes. Yeah. Hold on, I'll give you a sneak preview of some of the shit that'll be.
Damn, we should have put that on the Insta tag. Sneak preview of the fucking Lil White lyrics.
I'll put it in the next post. So the beat that you made was Bad Boys Boofin'. That's on your channel.
Yeah.
It's a very nice beat. And then we had lyrics that we made long ago called Big Horny Representin'. That I took those lyrics. I was bored one day and I just took them and decided, you know what? I'm going to move them around and make them work with this beat.
It's a little bit incoherent.
It's a bit incoherent, but at the same time, I love it.
It tells a pretty well thought out story.
So I'm gonna read the first two bars. Big titty gotha GF with a schlong. When I'm sucking on her dick, it's like I'm ripping on a bong. Dick so heavy, it's like a fucking bat. Gotta watch where you're going, or you'll get hit with that scrat.
It's cynical of perfection. We created that in the parking lot, waiting on people to get to play practice.
One day. We just sat down. We're like, well, nobody's here. We got here an hour early.
Yeah.
Time to make lyrics. Not a queer till she's slamming on my rear. She don't fear when she's searching my frontier. I hate it. Why are we retarded?
Which one made that? Was that you or me? I think that was...
I think I came up with not a queer till she's slamming on my rear, and then you came up with she don't fear when she's searching my frontier. Because we needed something that rhymed with rear.
Frontier.
Yeah, I think it was originally here or something, and then you changed it to frontier, and it was so much better. That's the first 3 bars, I guess.
Yeah.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 more. It was short, to say the least.
Yeah.
But oh boy, is it good?
Is it something? Yeah.
Yeah. Some of the outtakes that we decided not to add because it didn't make sense. I feel something hurting. Oh god, I'm squirting.
That's just... I was looking at that line because we shared that doc, didn't we?
Yeah, I shared it to you or something.
I was looking at it while I was writing my script one night, and I was like, that is a raunchy ass line. And the only way that I can imagine it is, I'm feeling something hurting. Oh my god, I think I'm squirting. Just like really in pain.
Call the medics because I'm feeling like a gong. Because she's coming in with the Batista bomb.
Yeah, that one was...
Hold up the horseplay. I'm feeling something wrong. It's just so bad, but so good.
It's so wrong in all the wrong ways. It's not even right.
It's there. There we go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess we're getting to the point where we need to wrap things up. It's getting near 2 hours, I think.
2,000 bars.
2,000 bars, and I don't know how long that is. It might honestly just be an hour.
120 divided by...
Dude, don't do the math again. You did the math last episode. Dude, don't do the math.
I'm just trying to think. Hold on, give me a second. My brain's a churn. So then there's... Okay, so there's 2 seconds in every bar. There's 2,000 bars. So we've been going at it for 200 minutes.
What? 2,000 seconds does not equal 200 minutes.
I'm saying 2,000 divided by 2 because of every 4-measure bar has 4 counts, which are half a second each, making it 2 seconds per bar. 2 seconds divided by 2,000 equals...
You mean multiplied? Because if there's 2 seconds for every bar, and there's 2,000 bars, 2,000 times 2, so that'd be 4,000.
No.
You're an idiot.
Well, shut it. I know what I'm doing. I'm a brain thinker.
Is your brain smooth? Alright, well I guess we'll wrap it up for now.
Alright, do you have any closing statements?
Check out our other channels.
We have a merch store now.
No, we don't. Dude, first episode gets 2 views. Dude, we gotta drop more merch. Dude, we're gonna make so much money.
We got a Patreon, a Bandcamp, GoFundMe. We have an Indiegogo for an independent movie. We're currently under license by Dolby Picture though, so we need to get out of that.
I hate it. Oh, but yeah, I don't really have any more closing statements other than like check out our channels.
Yeah.
Hopefully, I might have something out by the time this gets out. But by the time this gets out, like
this is supposed to be going out this week.
This week?
The next one's for.
No, this one's supposed to be out like.
For this.
Yeah, no, first episode this week. I would say bi-weekly.
Yeah.
Bi-weekly? No, yeah, like every 2 weeks I post an episode just in case we have like a period of time that we're not able to record.
I'm just getting on a Skype call at that point.
I don't like Skype though. That shit's gross.
I mean, I guess you have a point or a Discord call and we can just record it. I don't know why I said Skype. It's such like a
outdated.
Yeah, it's such an antiquated term. Fucking
Gen Z.
Skype.
Oh, we sound like Gen Z.
Yeah.
Alright, well, it's been nice having you listen to us.
Yeah,
hopefully you got this far.
Hopefully you fell asleep during this. I really hope that you didn't listen to all of it.
Alright, one last cheers of our diet rice before we go.
Diet rice.
Diet rice.
Rice.
Diet rice.